Good morning. It's the battle of the ages. David versus Goliath. The young shepherd boy versus the experienced man of war. David has offered himself to go and fight the giant of a man. He believes God will grant him a victory. His faith has inspired the king to let him go and represent the nation. What a privilege. What a responsibility. And remember, it's a winner-take-all event. Everything rests on the outcome of the battle. And David is preparing himself. The king offers his armor, but it was fit for Saul, not for David. Plus, David had never worn armor before. It would actually be a hindrance to him, so he takes it off and instead chooses to go and fight wearing his shepherd's attire, wielding his shepherd's weapons. I mean, imagine the scene. There's Goliath, decked out in armor from head to toe, appearing invincible, and here comes young David, wearing a tunic and a belt. From his belt hang a pouch and his sling and his rod. When Goliath mocks him for coming at him with sticks, he might be referring to the rod and staff that every shepherd carried. Verse 40. Then David took his staff in his hand and chose 5 smooth stones from the brook and put them in his shepherd's pouch. His sling was in his hand, and he approached the Philistine. Now at that time, David was a shepherd. That was his assignment from his father, caring for his flock of sheep. And of course, we understand that God was using that experience of caring for sheep to prepare David for the time when he would care for God's sheep as king of the nation of Israel. And while armor would have been more appropriate in the eyes of the people, David felt more prepared wearing the attire of his calling. And though David is mocked by Goliath, he's not dissuaded nor embarrassed by what he's wearing. Earlier, his oldest brother Eliab had mocked him with those words, "And with whom have you left those few sheep?" As in, what you do is insignificant. But David didn't let the mockery get to him. He wasn't ashamed to be a shepherd because he was humble-minded, like Jesus, who he represents in the story. And after all, there in the fields with the sheep, it was there that David had time to learn to skillfully play the lyre and worship his God. It was there as a protective shepherd that he learned to face his fears and fight predators when they came to try and steal and kill his father's sheep. He had time to learn how to skillfully throw a stone with a sling and hit his target with great accuracy and effectiveness. That would help him as he considered the very small target of the giant's exposed forehead. So, embarrassed at his calling? No, David wasn't. Now, it's not that he wore it with pride, it's that he accepted it as his calling at that time from his father and ultimately from his God. You know, today we hear a distortion of this truth as people declare who they are by their sin, their sinful desires, their attractions and choices. They declare it with pride. They declare it daring anyone to disagree with them or correct them. Beloved, I'll remind you, we're not defined by our sin. We're defined by the righteousness of Christ, which we have been given. It's not that we deny our sin or our sinful temptations. It's that we don't define ourselves by them. We don't explain them as if they are the essence of who we are. Rather, we promote Christ. We accept the great truth that we've been forgiven for our sin and imputed with His righteousness. It's likened to a robe that we wear that covers our sin. So why would we point to the sin that's being covered when we can point to the righteousness of Christ that has been given to us by God when He saved us? So today, let the righteousness of Christ, which defines you, be that which you see and speak of.
Who am I that the highest King would welcome me? I was lost, but He brought me in. Oh, His love for me. Oh, His love for me. Who the sun sets free, oh, has ransomed me. His grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, he died for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am who you say I am. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I
Thank you for listening to Mornings with Pastor Jim. This podcast is a ministry of Family Church PC. For more information or to contact us, go to familychurchpc.com. Have a blessed day.